I want to talk about my New Holland LS160. The chain drive, we all know about the chain drive. You got a plug up here at the front that you can pull out, drains your valley out. And then in this plate right here, there is a drain plug, or fill plug. You know what I mean. And we all do that, right? So for me, it's once a winter, every winter, I'll drain that out. Well, this year, I picked up a leak right here where the seal from this cover, the seal was leaking, and so I had some seepage. And so I pulled this cover off in order to, replace the seal. And that's when I noticed, right there, that's where this bolt goes. You see how that runs through the bolt? I just did that so you can see that bolt was hollow, all right? So I had fluid backing out of that bolt. At first I thought that there was it was leaking around the washer, and then I looked closer and I noticed it was coming through the center of the actual bolt. On the other side of that is a gear drive. They call it a gearbox, I think, or gear mechanism, blah, blah, whatever. Anyways, that fluid, if all you're doing is dropping out your valley, that fluid is getting nastier and nastier. And there's nothing in my book about changing it out. So what I did, took the plug out. I couldn't get a hose back there, my regular sucker hose back there, but I pulled a hose in there and I siphoned out, a little bit at a time, as much as I could, right? And it was not very nice. It was pretty nasty. I don't mean in my mouth. I wasn't letting it get in my mouth. I was just pulling up about half the hose and spitting it out, or blowing it back out. But what I mean is there's sediment in it. My machine's from '02, so that fluid behind that plug hadn't been changed in 20 years. All right. Now, what I did after that, I used my little oil can here, and I used my 1030, and I started filling it up, and sediment was coming out. I put a cloth here, a paper towel, to catch the majority of that sediment, all right, as it was coming out, little specks of this and that. But if you're gonna be doing your chain drive on your New Holland, instead of just dumping your fluid, you really should take this plate off, and that's the only way you can access that. All right, you got to take this plate off. Take this plate off and access that. You got to take your fender off to get this, because you got this top bolt right here. So if you just do these and you start to try to take it off, you're gonna notice you got one bolt up here. It's hidden between those hoses. But yeah, and I called New Holland, the dealer I bought it from. They were saying it was that this is a air relief valve. I was like, oh, I know that can't be it. Why is fluid coming out of it? Or, anyways, I talked to 3 different New Holland shops and a mechanic that I've used over the years that is very knowledgeable, and nobody knew about this. Nobody. All right. So if you want to get some extra life out of your machine, and you want to go that extra mile, that's what you got to do. Pull it off, pull that out, suck the fluid out best you can, put fresh fluid in to overfill and let some of the sediment come out. And then I've already done the other side. Then I top it off, and I'll put this in, and then I go back to square one, putting my plate on and filling it up. Anyways, there you go. New Holland LS160 chain drive BS.